Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Death in Cambodia, Life in America. This episode, we are going to continue on the story that we're on. You're probably like, Dorothy, where are we? You're taking me on this crazy back and forth, back and forth. Where are we actually? Okay, so last episode was basically us traveling a little bit back in time, going a little bit deeper into exactly what had happened at that hospital. Now, coming back to our story timeline, Robert has been staying with his mom and my Auntie Amanda for the past 2-3 weeks after he escaped that hellhole of a basically torturous creepy place. And he's been happy. He's been happy for the past 2 weeks. He's been able to stay with mom, but the only way that he's been able to do that was to be in hiding. So when you're in hiding in the labor camps, you don't have any food portions. Being around Mama and being around the family was wonderful, but that also basically meant that Mama had to not only save portions for Auntie Amanda and try to steal food for her, but she also had to steal additional food for Robert because now he was also technically in hiding too. Robert started to feel the pressure of his presence. He knew that, yes, he wanted to stay. And granted, it's not perfect, right? I mean, he still is in the Khmer Rouge, but at least, the very least, he gets to be with mom and he gets to be with his sister. But his presence, and I think he knew that that sort of luck is not going to last forever. And putting everybody in that kind of position is putting everybody, the entire family, at risk. You know, if somebody would have caught him, which he had a feeling was going to happen eventually, I mean, the entire family would have been slaughtered. There was just too much risk that he felt when he stayed. And because of that, he started to get the idea that he couldn't stay here as much as he wanted to. He couldn't stay here any longer.
I was continue to at night. I'm just still corn, whatever that grow back there to survive because my mom continued to steal the food, which is not much, to feed two people, Amanda, my sister, and now me. So mom tried not to eat her share and just to feed me, and I know it. And then I was feel so bad that uh, uh, she she couldn't, uh, she just hold, you know, her, she lost weight, it's getting skinnier. Just try to feed us. I was feel horrible, and I decide to go back to the labor camp because this is not good for everyone because of me, and I might kill kill the whole family, and so I decide to go back to the labor camp, which is I'm able to walk to that original camp that they picked me up 2 years ago.
Did Mama want you to go? I'm sure she
No,
didn't.
no, Mama didn't want me to go. Said you stay here, we'll be fine. But I'm sure as we will get caught one of these days. So uh, then because of me, I might jeopardize and kill the whole. They not just kill you. We got caught. They killed the whole family. So they're gonna torture you.
That must have been such a hard decision to make because you already know what world you just came back from, and finally you found family after a couple of years from being away from them. It must have just felt
Yeah, I will stay there with them for only probably 8 weeks, but I was so happy even without food, uh, a little bit food. But then you feel bad too. I mean, because mom couldn't eat, dad couldn't
mhm,
eat much food, try to save. They don't, the share that they gave it to them, it's not even enough. Now they have to save some for me. I feel I was feel safe with the family, but on the other hand, it's not safe because
it's
what
only
happened?
him.
You get caught.
Yeah.
So the next couple days, I told Mama, said, I gotta go because I don't want to stay here. And she said, no, just stay here. So we will share food together here, whatever we can. I said, no. I told her they might come here and kill us all because I left the hospital. I escaped from the hospital. I didn't tell anyone, and they right now they might looking for me. And
So she didn't know when you arrived that you escaped
no, I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her
because you didn't want to
anything.
worry her, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So then, yeah, in the afternoon, one day I told her I'm gonna walk to that original camp, which is it's about 3 hour walk, which is not that far. So she was crying because she said, I don't know when we're gonna see each other again. And most of the time, I think, in labor camp, uh, was pretty brutal. People die. I mean, kids die every day. Starvation, sickness, all kinds. So I said, well, whatever we can, we just try the best we can. Nothing we can do. Yeah, so I walked slowly. She was crying so bad, and
Kucha was there too, right? But
Gujia, yeah, was there too, and so I was walk slowly and just uh, I was feels I don't know. It's just terrible, terrifying that one thing that you don't know what gonna happen to you, and was feel is this the last time that I gonna see them? Uh, that's it. I'm probably walking to a dead zone now. I'm maybe never coming back to see them.
they did believe that was probably the last time you're going to
Yeah.
see them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because it was lucky that I escaped from the hospital
Right.
and then able to see them and stay with them for about 8 weeks. And I feel this is it. This is the last time I see them, and they know too. So um, was when I walk back that 3 hour, I was feeling something that uh, very emotional, very sad. Uh, yeah,
I'm going to just continue recording, but I can edit any part out. So you just
I was so feel so empty. I couldn't feel worth than just when I left the first time. It was different feeling. But this time, I know a lot of people die. It's not really scare me anymore. But then the feeling is so empty. So you just walk away from your family, and then one thing you don't think what gonna happen to them, and then you feel like this is the last time that I gonna see them. Uh, uh,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point to mention too. It's like the first time you had no idea where you were going, and it was so sudden, probably at the same time too.
yeah,
So you had no idea what was going to happen, if you were going to come see them next week or next month or whatever it is.
because you still have hope
You
in
still have hope.
the first
Exactly.
time.
Exactly. But this time, you knew you had no choice to leave because you didn't want to put them at risk. And if you left, you were going back to this horrible life, torturous life. You probably already thought that you would
knew.
never see them again. And when you saw them again, and then you had to leave by choice, it just makes it all the more painful. And this time, you knew that it was probably for good because you were already lucky to see them in the first place.
Yes. So that was the feeling. You just confused so much, and then you just like, well, we just pray whatever life was. It happened to everybody in the whole country.
So, I know this was a short episode. But this episode's titled The Greatest Pain of All, and I wanted to kind of give this episode its own moment, its own time, its own section by itself, because it, I I couldn't imagine the pain, the emotional pain that Robert had to feel walking away from his family, walking away from familiarity, walking away from comfort after now experiencing what the Khmer Rouge really was, and then choosing to walk back into it, away from comfort, away from feeling like you had some sort of community, like you had some sort of anything, and choosing to turn around, and now knowing that if he was to walk away, he probably would never ever see family again. Like, that walk must have been so excruciating. And this episode made me cry. This episode made me feel what he felt, turning his back to that and choosing to go back to hell. Can you imagine it?